national champion and team captain for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and former Carolina Panther, and his father, Corey Miller, the pastor of pain, a 9-year NFL veteran with the New York Giants, and University of South Carolina Hall of Famer. This is the Miller's Edge.
And welcome into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you guys are ready for a good weekend. You got Father's Day this weekend. Hope you guys got some good plans, and hope you guys get to spend it with your fathers out there. And, yeah, we got a number of things to dive into today. Number of things we haven't really got to yet that we've had on the ticket, but we've been so busy, which is a good thing, talking about a number of other topics. But just a little reminder, we got to catch back up on the new Bama Standard Series. Yesterday we watched episode 1 with the wide receivers. The latest episode 2, featured the defensive line, a group that's been a hot topic as of late. So we're going to dive into that video. It's about 4 minutes long, so we'll watch that and break that video down. And a lot of people spoke highly of that video, so they got them fired up. So we'll see if it does the same for us. I haven't seen it yet, so we'll be watching it together at the same time for the first time. Also, the SEC tiers list that I've been talking about for about 2 days now, we finally are going to get to that. That's not too long of a video either. We'll break that down. Again, I think it was JD from On3 basically giving his tiers for the SEC, breaking each tier down and what that tier consists of in terms of which teams are in that tier. And I'm sure we're going to have some interesting responses. I saw a little bit of a preview of that. And I'm sure we're going to definitely want to respond to that. Plus, there was an article, I think Austin brought it up yesterday, from Sidelines Bama. Again, make sure you guys check them out over on Twitter. They do a nice job with a whole bunch of Alabama updates. But there was a Michigan article. Well, not Michigan. There's an article on Michigan. I know you're like, why do you want to talk about that? Well, you've got former Alabama running back Justice Haynes comparing his new head coach, because, again, he transferred to Michigan, Sharon Moore, to Nick Saban. And we brought that up at the end of the show. We didn't have enough time to talk about it. So the game plan is to talk about that today. So there's a number of things we got on the ticket for you guys. But as always, we got to remind you guys, you can always call in if you got any questions, comments, concerns, things you guys want to talk about. We definitely want to do that. 205 342. Sorry, I just cleared my throat and forgot the number for a second, Chase. 205-342-9904. That is the number to the program. Make sure you guys hit us up again. We would love to have you on here. It is a free-for-all Friday, so we can go anywhere and anywhere. And we probably can do that a lot quicker if I could get my throat cleared. I just was telling Chase, I probably need to take some allergy medicine. Like, I've always neglected it. My dad has bad allergies, so it probably runs with the family. But for me, I've always just been like, yeah, no, I'll just drink some water. Clearly, that's not really working out too well. So I'll get that cleaned up here in a second, because we do have to take a time out. But I also want to remind you about the YouTube stream. We're always live Monday through Friday, 11 to 1. You guys can hang out with us. Again, we got the chat that goes on the right side of the screen. You can interact with everybody in the chat. We always got good conversations. Yesterday, we had a good little conversation going. And, obviously, anytime there's a good debate, there's always good interaction. So if you guys want to watch me do the show, you guys want to watch the videos on the screen, interact with the chat, make sure you guys check us out on YouTube. Completely free. It's free live stream at the Miller's Edge. Just type that in on YouTube. The only thing we ask, you drop us a like, subscribe to the channel, stay up to date. That always helps us out. And yeah, you can enjoy everything right there on YouTube as well. That being said, Chase, let's go ahead and hit this timeout a little early. When we come back, we'll get rolling, but I need to clear my throat. I need to do something. Maybe I'll go heat something up, because this ain't gonna last long. But the good news is we got some videos to watch, so maybe that'll give you some time to help get it cleared up. But that being said, quick timeout. When we come back, we want to jump into these things. I think we're going to kick things off today, Chase, with that SEC tiers list, because that has been on the docket for some time now. So when we come back, we'll dive into that, see where Alabama ranks among the rest of these teams in the SEC, according to On3. And we'll do that right here after this quick timeout. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Expert. We'll be right back.
At Tuscaloosa Mazda, they are expanding their showroom to serve you better. Come see their new and pre-owned Mazda lineup, offering fuel efficiency, advanced technology, and plush comfort. Tuscaloosa Mazda, 3100 Skyland Boulevard East, or online at TuscaloosaMazda.com.
Hi, I'm Marty Lyons. When I come to Taco Casa, I always order the 2 and 2. 2 Sanchos, 2 enchiladas.
And I'm Wilkin Forby. And when I come to Taco Casa, I always order the Fantastic Four. 4 Sanchos, 4 enchiladas, 4 tacos, and 4 burritos.
Taco Casa is always made with the finest ingredients and made fresh when you order. So whatever the size of your appetite,
there's always something delicious waiting for you here at Taco Casa.
Taco Casa, under the biggest cactus in town.
Reigning 7-time ACM and CMA Vocal Group of the Year, Old Dominion. How good is that? World Tour with Ernest and special guest Red Farrell. Friday, June 13th, the Mercedes-Benz Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Old Dominion. One incredible night of country music you don't want to miss.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey, more like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at Walmart.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation across the United States and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers, trying to make a name for themselves. We're here for the achievers,
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors who are shaping the next generation of legends. We are here for you, aggressively pursuing victory over injury.
Learn more at andrewsportsmedicine.com. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Give your dad one of these great Father's Day specials from Lush Med Spa. Their Gentleman's Facial includes an express hydrofacial with free LED light therapy and a hyaluronic acid take-home product. Check out the Lush Med Spa Lose the Age, Not the Wisdom special, where you buy 2 Radius syringes, get 30 units of tox free. Or give him their laser hair removal special. Buy a package of 6, get 20% off. All specials are available through June 30th at Lush Med Spa, 516 19th Avenue, Tuscaloosa, and Highway 69 in Northport.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A warm, humid afternoon. Look out for scattered showers and thunderstorms through this evening. The high today 87, tonight's low 71. For tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Scattered showers and storms developing during the day with a high at 85. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 84 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I want to tell you about our great friends over at Brian Harding Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Harding Construction is woman-owned and strong as steel, a specialty manufacturing firm with expertise in structural steel fabrication, ASME code piping and vessels, CNC machine work, welding, laser cutting, pipe fitting, industrial maintenance, and crane rentals. With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation, contact Brian Harding Construction today at 205-752-9611. Again, that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope everybody is doing well. All right, my throat is doing – whoa. Chase. That
almost
was
got yourself
crazy.
there.
That was kind of crazy, Chase. I finally got cleared up, man. I got cleared up. I spent like the last 3 minutes like clearing my throat and yeah. So that sounded crazy. Anyway, all right, I'm ready to roll. Trust me, I thought I was good before the start of the show, but then it just caught back up. But anyway, sorry. Allergy season. You guys know how that goes. That being said, we're going to jump into this video, the SEC tiers list. I've been waiting to get to this for a few days now, so we're going to start here. Again, we got some other stuff to dive into. Episode 2 of the Bama Standard. The Michigan comments from Justice Haynes, about the whole, his new coach is very similar to Nick Saban. We're definitely going to dive into that. But it's a free-for-all Friday, meaning we're going anywhere and everywhere that you guys want to go. I see Dwight here in the YouTube chat. He's got an interesting thing that he's brought up, so we'll dive into this here in a second. Basically, it's a point about like alternate uniforms. Thoughts on that? I don't think we really talked about that here on the show, Chase, and that's definitely a very an interesting topic. Obviously, that's not really a thing around here. You know, Alabama's so traditional, but we'll see. We'll definitely dive into that. But all right, let's start here. We got this SEC tiers list. Let's find out where On 3 ranks Alabama within the conference.
Now, to be clear, this is not a ranking system. This is not a rating system. All we're doing right now is putting these teams in the Southeastern Conference into specific categories as to how we're assessing them as this sits right now heading into the 2025 season. So the first tier that we need to unpack is a tier that we like to call comparison is a thief. You've heard that quote, comparison is the thief of joy. That's how you feel right now, or how you should feel if you're Kentucky or you're Mississippi State. Because right now you're flipping through the preview magazines, and you see everyone talking about what Ole Miss is going to be, what Tennessee is going to be, what Alabama is going to be. Run your race, man. Run like your over/under win total, respectively. Kentucky at 4.5, Mississippi State at 3.5. Philadelphia from Modern Family has a tremendous quote. He says, "The greatest things in life can happen to you if you just lower your expectations." This might not be the year, but if it is the year, you go win 7 games, 8 games, make a bowl. I mean, throw a parade. Let's put expectations in the proper place, not compare ourselves, and feel better about ourselves at the end of the college football season because of that. Next tier, solid and scrappy. Tier is exactly what it sounds like. These are teams that I'm not picking to make the college football playoff, but teams that could absolutely ruin your Saturday. Just ask Alabama. In this tier, we got Missouri, Arkansas, Vanderbilt. All 3 of these teams feel like they got a guy at quarterback that could maybe make some things happen. Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt has totally changed the culture over there, along with Clark Lee. Taylor Green in Arkansas, man, people forget. Tennessee rolled in to Little Rock, or Fayetteville, I should say, because Little Rock is on the way over there. Played that Sam Pittman Arkansas team and left with an L. Like, are they going to be a team that wins the SEC? I would happen to believe that's not the case, but by the DNA of that football team under Sam Pittman, by what Taylor Green can do with his legs and giving you a complex game plan to have to work with, have to account for on defense, can make things happen for you. Bo Pribula, probably one of the greatest unknowns in the SEC, very quietly for that staff under Eli Drinkwitz playing quarterback out there. We'll see what he is. But all 3 of these teams, again, I'm probably not picking them to go win 10 games. Missouri, maybe with that schedule, gets near that mark. But at the end of the day, they're going to give you a game every single Saturday. Now, the next category is the eyes emoji category. Right? You know what I'm saying now. Whenever you fire off a text with the eyes emoji, you're a little bit unsure or maybe optimistic, or that the eyes emoji can mean a lot of things, which I guess is kind of where we land on this whole deal. All 3 of these teams, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Auburn, to me have a very distinct ain't no telling factor to them. Like, I have no idea what we're going to get from Jackson Arnold and Auburn this year, but if that clicks, how good could Auburn be? Better question, how many points a game is Auburn going to score? If Auburn scoring 35, 38 points a game, make no mistake, with those weapons and Hugh Freeze calling the show, they could do that. How good is Auburn going to be? I guess that's kind of the thought you arrive at. A&M we'll talk about throughout the course of this offseason as well, and what that offense is going to be. I've told y'all, though, I love Marcel Reed. I love Colin Klein with Marcel Reed as the OC over there. I love Le'Veon Moss, one of the more underrated backs in all of college football, was killing it last year before he got hurt. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's got a portal class every single year where they're in a good spot to make some noise in the SEC in the college football playoff world. Like, I know that softball may be not his strong suit. Calling an offense, getting a quarterback, that is his strong suit. So I'm just saying, all 3 of those teams, to me, have a real potential to make some noise because of their personnel, because of their roster, and also to be real because of their head coach. Ain't no telling.
Using the wrong.
All right, we got a quick ad, but so far, Chase, your Mississippi State Bulldogs, man, not getting a whole bunch of love there, but we'll see, how that looks. I will say though, I mean, I agree with the man. Texas A&M and Auburn, I do feel like those are two teams that I guess use the eye emojis with. They've got some things that you look at that you're saying they could be something. Little on the fence about it, but definitely do catch your attention. Here we go.
Teams, eyes emoji tier for us. Now, here's another tier that I think is really specific to the SEC this year. There is a number of quarterbacks in this conference that have tremendous boom factor to them, to where if they end up having a great season or to play to their potential, I should say. I mean, Oklahoma, Florida, South Carolina, they're all in the because you got a guy tier for us on this show. And just what I was saying, because you have a dude at quarterback at Florida, because you have a dude at quarterback at South Carolina, Oklahoma, all three of those teams I think have a playoff kind of ceiling because of what they could get from their quarterback. So I'm not saying they're going to make the playoff, but I am saying if they do make the playoff or they do find themselves in that spot at the end of the year, kind of on the bubble, it's not happening for South Carolina without Lenora Sellers, or for Oklahoma without John Mateer, without DJ Lagway for Florida. Not only the quarterback, but quarterback's a pretty large part of that. Now, I've said this a couple times, but LSU to me is in a tier of their own. They're in what I call the frozen pizza tier. All right, so I'm running out of reasons, quite frankly, to not pick LSU to win the SEC. Now, this is not a ranking, but I'm just saying, LSU, all they have via the portal, Garrett Nussmeier, another year after he threw for 4,000 yards with no running game. Brian Kelly is a guy who's won north of 70% of his games, coached for over 20 years. It's all there for LSU. Now, you got to put it together. You got to major in all of what we call the other stuff that championship teams major in. But LSU as a whole, I love the way that they're built from a roster level. I understand there's some new pieces you're breaking in, but if it all clicks, if it all fits, that frozen pizza looking better and better as we get further into this offseason. Now, another tier.
I feel like we do this every year with LSU. Don't we do this, Chase? I feel like it's they got the pieces. They got this. There's always so many reasons that you should buy into them, but then they always just I wouldn't necessarily underperform, but it kind of does feel like they underperform with at least what they have, right? Now, granted, I know they beat us in 22 or whatever, stuff like that. But it doesn't amount to really anything else. They'll have a couple moments, but they don't really go in just like they went and played in the SEC championship game and then got blown out by Georgia. I mean, it's just kind of So I don't know. I mean, I definitely think they'll be a solid. I don't even know if I want to say really, really good. I think they'll be a good football team, very solid football team. But I don't know. I feel like he's hyping them up a little bit much. But to be fair, we saw other people doing this, so we'll see.
That has to be discussed, though. The don't forget about us tier. As we move into this offseason, it's very funny. It feels like the buzz around a Tennessee and a Alabama is maybe less than it has been. Feels like maybe it's less than it should be. Alabama, if they get a dude at quarterback, now make no mistake, I'm not saying a serviceable dude. I'm not saying a guy who can manage the game for you. I'm talking about if you get a real plus at quarterback, whether that's Ty Simpson, Keelan Russell, Austin Mack, whoever it is, if they have a plus at quarterback, they will be a playoff team. Defense is good enough. Weapons are good enough. Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, I think they're good enough. There's a lot there to where if the quarterback is a guy, they're going to have a chance to not just make the playoff, make a run in the playoff. And for Tennessee, they lost Nico Iamaleava, and I think that maybe muddied the water a little bit as to what they're going to be. But Josh Heupel in Tennessee and what they've built via the portal and the recruiting trail, that's still a really solid roster. Nico didn't light the world on fire last year, as Tennessee fans would tell you. So don't forget about those teams. They're absolutely going to be in the mix. And then our final tier, our top tier, I suppose, if you want to be specific about this, the all-natty tier. It's about a national title for Georgia and Texas. It is, man. I know you have a new quarterback for both those schools, but with what you have built via what I just said for Tennessee, how they've recruited, specifically with Texas and Georgia the last couple of years. I mean, Kirby Smart's had a top 10 or a top 3 class, I should say, going now on his 10th season. Texas just wrapped up the number 1 class in America this most previous cycle, and they've had multiple top 5 classes since Steve Sarkisian's been there. The pedigree of the coaching staff, most specifically their head coach, Kirby Smart, you would say, is the best coach in the sport right now. Steve Sarkisian probably entering into that top 3 category in the sport right now. It's all there for those teams to be in contention to go compete for a national championship. If Georgia doesn't win the national championship this year, folks in Athens will say, wasn't good enough. Same deal for Texas. If you need more proof of that, go look to what has happened the last couple of seasons for both those schools. Georgia won the SEC last year. And people are asking the question today, is Georgia still Georgia? Is Kirby Smart still? Like, we're having that conversation after you just won the toughest conference in college football based on NFL draft picks from a talent perspective. So
I think he's forgetting. I mean, it's a new year, though, right? And to be fair, man, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with. I mean, the Texas, I feel better about Chase, but I don't know. Like the Georgia hype, man. Like obviously, I've talked about them. You know, they're going to be solid based on Kirby, his coaching staff, they recruit. Well, we know all that. But when you look at this Georgia football team this upcoming year, then looking at how they looked last year. And not to mention, the quarterbacks. But I mean, Gunnar Stockton. I mean, I think he could be a good player, but he doesn't like blow me away. I don't know if I'd have him necessarily right there, but
I'm excited to see what happens there. But overall, man, that's the all natties here for me. It's national title or not, or bust, I suppose, for Texas and Georgia as it pertains to the 2025 season. So to recap it for you here, the tiers in the SEC for us, subject to change. Comparison, it's the thief of joy for Kentucky and Mississippi State. Solid and scrappy, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Arkansas. Any given Saturday, they can ruin it for you. The eyes emoji for me, A&M, Ole Miss, and Auburn. Because you got a guy at quarterback, you got a chance in Oklahoma, Florida, and South Carolina. Do not forget about Alabama and Tennessee. Frozen pizza for me is still LSU in the national championship or bust. It's all natty for Texas and Georgia here in 2025. I'm excited to.
Well, there you have it. So that was that tiers list, man. Again, I don't think he was like really ranking them, but still curious what y'all's thoughts are on that. I mean, again, I'll put it back on the screen. And just to recap for the radio listeners, he has Alabama in a don't forget us category. And he felt basically if we have a guy at quarterback, not just a game manager or a serviceable guy, but actually a guy, he thinks, we could take it pretty far this year. I mean, I'd argue, that's kind of really any team. If you have a solid team and then your quarterback steps up, you're going to be a contender. But I don't know, man. I don't know. To me, I'll be honest, Chase, that video just kind of sounded like he was just something. We're just trying to build some content, man. Very interesting type deal. The whole frozen pizza thing, still trying to wrap my head around that. Anyway, we got to hit a timeout when we come back. We got Ricky Rose on the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We'll get to him. We got some debate stuff in the chat we can dive into, plus a number of other things that we got to catch back up on right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Compete Store, America's Art Sport Experts. We'll be right back. Yeah, I don't know. What about you guys in the chat? What do you guys think about that tiers thing? I don't know why Alabama be like in the don't forget us. I mean, I get what he's saying. Like, there are some people that do have some doubts on us, but I don't know. Texas can never seem to put it all together in a big game. Yeah, I was saying, Mike, about like LSU. I feel like they can't ever put the whole season together. Like they'll have like some flashes, they'll have their moments, but I feel like they just. I mean, other than we know, Joe Burrow and Odron. I mean, that year they put it all together that year. But other than that, like it's not like they haven't had other talented rosters other than that year. I mean, clearly they had some dogs on that team. We all know that they had some star power. But I'd argue, I mean, they've had some players, in other years too. They just didn't put it together. Texas or Georgia's not winning the Natty this year. I feel like Texas would have a better chance out of the two of them. I don't know, man. If I'm being honest with you, I know, coaches over at Georgia. Even from their side of things, I mean, they don't even seem. How do you put this? I'm not saying they're not like the most confident in their team right now. Every team I'll be honest with you, every team feels like this around this time of year, especially when you're talking about guys like Kirby. But everybody that I've kind of talked to about Georgia, they've even said like they've got a ways to go, right? Like that's coming from their side of things. That they still feel like they've got a ways to go. which we felt like that here. I know for a fact our coaching staff has felt like that a number of times. I mean, probably the most recent would have been 2023 with Coach Saban. I know for a fact him and that staff in the spring going into that year, he even admitted it, right? I mean, you've heard him talk about it. You've heard him say those comments like he's so proud of that team. Like it's a little, I wouldn't say subliminal, but it's like he's not directly saying it, but he always talks about how far that team has come. He feels like they've made the most improvement out of any team he's ever had. He's basically saying like he didn't even really know what they were capable of. So I'm not saying Georgia can't turn it around, but I do know like everybody I've talked to on that side of the line, they feel like they've got a ways to go. So I don't know. This isn't really like an actual rankings list, but if I was like ranking some of these teams, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd bunch. There'd probably be like 4 or 5 of these teams all bunched together. I mean, Texas might be have a slight edge. Other than that, though, I feel like you got a big group just kind of all hovering around each other. Like, I mean, I agree with them, though. I mean, Florida, with Lagwell, I mean, I think that this could be a good year for them. I can't remember if they have, like, one of the toughest schedules still, but similar deal with North Carolina. And welcome back into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Mike, I see you in the chat. Happy Father's Day weekend, everybody. Happy Father's Day to you, Mike, all the fathers out there listening, YouTube, radio, the app, all that good stuff. We just heard the SEC tier thing, and it wasn't like a rankings list, but you heard they had Alabama, the Don't Forget Us thing, quarterback away from, doing some big stuff this year. Same old thing we've heard, so nothing really surprising there. My only thing is, again, I think he's kind of hyping Georgia a little bit much. I know they're, I get it. I get it's Georgia, but from my perspective, I feel like you might need to bump them down just a little bit right now. I think they're going to be really good, but make it seem like, oh, it's natty or bust. I mean, yeah, according to their standard, because they've been, probably the top team in college football if you talk about the last 4 or 5 years or whatever. Sure, but I'm thinking like this year specifically. Hell, I think you can make the same argument about. I mean, I know Gunner's starting and played some snaps at the end of the year, but like I would not sit there and make it seem like everybody's just so confident this guy is going to be the guy. I mean, maybe I'm missing something, Chase. I don't know, but he didn't strike me as like, oh man, like he's going to be the future. Obviously he's going to be the quarterback, but you get what I'm saying. Dwight says, I think the same thing with Jay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm hating on him. I know I'm not, because I'm just being fair, but I don't see the same hype that other people are giving them. But to be fair, I don't even know. I'm trying to think back to those way too early top rankings. I'm trying to think of where a lot of people had Georgia. I feel like they had them more in like that, like 7-8 range. I don't know. I don't remember. Let's go to the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We got Ricky on the line. Ricky, what's going on?
What's up, guys?
What's up, Ricky?
All right, I got 2 questions for you, but it's nothing to do with JD Pickle or his horrible takes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That one was. I'm not gonna lie. That was probably one of the ones that I was like, yeah, we probably.
Yeah, it's only like 5 of y'all that I actually like listen to now, and JD is like far from it. Like, but anyway, so I kind of have our first matchup question. Like, so with FSU, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got 2 new coordinators that I think are like actually really good. But we've Alabama, at least this past year, has seen like what a coaching turnaround does. But if you play for FSU and you're coming off of a 2-win season, does that just 2 new coordinators, like coaching turnover, does that kind of change how your mindset goes into the next season? Or are you still kind of a little beat up from that last 2-win season?
That's a good question. I mean, well, fortunately, I've never been on a two-win team other than well, I guess my first year of high school. When I first got to my high school program, I'm not gonna lie, we were terrible. We won like 2 games in like 2 or 3 years. It was bad. But then my first year actually playing, I think we won like 5. Anyway, but I would say this in terms of a team like that, I think they're definitely a team that, like I'm not gonna call it a trap. Like, oh, the reason I would even think of that word is because Ricky, like, you look at the record last year, and if you just look at the surface level, yeah, it's easy to say, oh, they're terrible, but they have the talent. You just mentioned the coaching changes. I mean, they hired Gus Malzahn, who's very experienced. Then you talk about us; he's very experienced playing against Alabama. So let's just throw that in the equation. Then the defensive coordinator they hired, Tony White, is a 2-time Broyles Award nominee for the nation's best assistant coach. I'm just reading this from his bio. I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about him, but I do know he came from Nebraska. Previously was at Syracuse. But in terms of changes with the coaching staff make a big difference? Absolutely, especially when you already have the players. The one thing if you're talking about a whole rebuild, you're needing to go get guys, you just hire new coaches, it's a process taking time. We're talking about an FSU team that they have good players. You know what I mean? And now you got coaches that you're thinking are going to be an upgrade and hopefully shift that mentality. Then even from like a player's perspective, like I would imagine those guys probably felt pretty embarrassed with what they did last year. So I would imagine that the mindset will probably be, we're not going to sit there and go out like that again this year. So I think you're looking at a team that you definitely want to be very respectful of it and definitely don't want to overlook that record, because that record's not, in my opinion, I don't think that means anything. I always look at it as a new year is a whole new season, new team, especially with portal stuff. I mean, you got to be careful looking at last season. Obviously, you want to use it to break things down, look at players, stuff like that. But this is going to be a totally different team. I think they're going to be much better this year. I'm not saying they're going to be a playoff team, but I think they'll be much better than they were last year.
All right. So for my second question, again, when I say it's only a handful of y'all that I listen to now, Cole Kublik is one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Because he actually played and he talks about the trenches a lot. The last couple of years I've ignored the O-line, even though like since 2022, that's kind of been like an Achilles heel for us, in my opinion. He mentioned his top 5 offensive lines in the SEC, and he had Alabama at like either 4 or 5. And like all I'm thinking about is, well, we just lost the best offensive lineman to the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So our left guard I'm not sure about anything like that. Our left tackle has been inconsistent. I think he'll be better, but he's been inconsistent. I can't really speak on footwork or anything like that because I'm not an expert. So I wouldn't know. I don't know what I'm getting out of my right tackle. I like our center. And I like our right guard. But another thing that he kind of brung up that like kind of stuck with me is the lack of depth that we have in our trenches. But I don't know if that's because the playing field in college football is kind of level and you kind of have guys kind of spread out over the nation. So you don't really get, those multiple 5-star guys like right behind each other like it once was in 2018. So like, I just kind of wanted your thoughts because I don't really see Alabama as a top 5 offensive line, at least in a while now, like kind of going by it. Because if we still play inconsistent like we did last year, which I don't think we will because Ryan Grubb is here now, and I'm pretty sure he'll kind of fix up on a lot of stuff. But if we still play inconsistent like we did last year, I just don't want to hear the Ty Simpson is letting the team down or anything like that because he can't be protected. So I just kind of wanted your thoughts on where you have like Alabama's like O-line, because I got him like top 15 right
When you,
now.
when
Like
you say top 15, are you talking about in the conference or are you talking about nationally?
nationally, at least nationally. Probably in the conference, I'll say like
What it was 8 or 9 in the conference? And Cole Kublik's list was just the conference, right?
he had top 5 in the conference in the SEC.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm saying like top 10 in the SEC, but maybe top 15, top 20 in the country.
Yeah. Well,
it's not that I think we're bad. I just don't we aren't like consistent. Like I think where we're on, it looks like we're borderline unstoppable until we aren't.
Here's my thing. I feel like on paper, our offensive line unit always appears to be like one of the best or the best, right? Matter of fact, I think PFF last season had us as like the number 1 offensive line in the country going into the year. I don't know what they graded us at by the end of the year, but I can tell you what I graded them at, and it was not the number 1 offensive line in the country. They've got us as the number 1 offensive line in the country this year again, according to Max Chadwick of PFF. I mean, again, I don't know how much that means or where he's coming out with that. I'm looking at the article right now to see why he had us there. But I'll just say this. So this is his thoughts real quick, and then I'll give you mine. Hell, actually, let me give you mine first because I don't want to seem like I'm just reading this. Here's my thoughts. I think we have a good unit, right? I'm always cautiously optimistic. Y'all know that. But I will say this. I think when you look at it, you've got a left tackle. So when you break down an offensive line, left tackle is probably the most important spot, right? I mean, you're talking about the protector of the quarterback. You look at Caden Proctor, I mean, you see where people are rating him, for this upcoming NFL draft, whether it's justified or not. They've got him as like a top 5 pick. He's going into his junior year. Sure. Yeah, but I'm saying, but not even his first round. I mean, like a lot of these mock drafts are having him as a top 5, not even his first round. I mean, I'm with you. I don't necessarily. I think it's more of a in the first round range, and I would not say a top 5 lock right now. And that's not to be negative. That's just me being completely transparent. That's going off of this guy started since a true freshman at the University of Alabama. Let's just call a spade a spade. That's going to give you a boost, right? You've been the true starting left tackle for 3 years now at the University of Alabama. That's going to hold some weight. But when you turn the tape on, there's just the fact that he's got to clean up some stuff. We all know, as a freshman, he could not protect against the speed edge rushers to save his life. Right now, he was a true freshman. I felt that he was too big. I don't think his conditioning was great. Last year was better. You saw the improvement. So I think people are banking on the continued improvement, which I also feel will be the case. Again, you know this. You've been listening to us for a while. Me and my dad have been saying when everybody was talking about how terrible he was as a true freshman, he said, I mean, you got to remember, this kid's young. He's a true freshman. He will be a first rounder, and I still stick by that. And so obviously people are finally seeing what we saw. But I will say, I mean, does that make him perfect? No. But you feel good that he's going into his junior year, and hopefully he'll be even better after building off of his improvements from last year. Left guard is where you've got a question mark right now. You mentioned it, Tyler Booker leaving to the draft. That's a big loss. Not only was he the best lineman on that unit, but you talk about what he brought from a leadership perspective, from a knowledge of the game perspective, really kind of, he was like the guy in charge with that unit. That's a big loss. But you bring in Cam Dewberry from Texas A&M. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything about him. I do know, from what I saw at him this spring. I mean, he's a big dude. I will say that. He's got SEC experience. He's been playing. He looks solid, during the spring. Would I sit there and say like he's going to be, next Tyler Booker? No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, Tyler Booker is one of the top linemen in the country for a reason. But I think he should be solid enough. You look at Brailsford. I've been talking about Brailsford since he got here. My dad wanted to make jokes and stuff at first, trying to be silly. But like I told him, you turn on the tape, man, the tape doesn't lie. He's a little undersized, but he's got, a little bit bigger since he's been here. But in terms of his play, man, he's a dog, man, and he's really good at the center position. You know, he's one of the few centers in college football. I mean, that like he's built to play that position, man. He's really good at it. So you've got a left tackle that's projected first round pick. I feel like Brailsford you might not see him getting all the love right now, but I think by the end of the year you'll see him getting a lot more attention. I think he'll probably be up for the top center award with all that kind of stuff. By the end of the year, in my opinion. And then right guard, you got Jaden Roberts, been banged up a little bit throughout his college career, but we know what he has to offer. Could get a little bit better with his pass pro, but in terms of the running game, he's a physical guy. He brings the juice. I like him a lot. Then right tackle, you got Formby's going to probably be the guy, at least his job to lose. Again, not the most elite guy at the position right now, but I think he's been showing some improvements, and I think that's probably the position you got to circle too that you want to look at. Say, hey, like if they can get good and consistent play out of that right tackle spot, they should be a solid group. Now, I do believe you mentioned Ryan Grubb. I do believe whoever, Grubb, Sheridan, them together, Kalen DeBoer, whoever, they can do a better job of helping these guys out. Again, starting with more consistency with the running game, I think that'll help them out. If you see that guys are struggling, like let's please, for the love of God, you got a true a true freshman left tackle that's struggling. And I know this was somebody else, it's Tommy Reese, but I'm like, put a damn tight end over there, help the freaking guy out, put a back over there, get some chip protection. It's not hard, man. Go 6-man and help the dude out. I think if you have a better, mind at the offensive coordinator position, I think that helps those guys out. But anyway, to put a bow on that, I know that was a very long-winded way of saying this. I agree. I think I'm more along with like Cole Kubelik. I think on paper, I mean, what you talking about in the conference?
Well, yeah. Even in the conference, that just kind of seems like kind of high, in my opinion.
You said 4 or 5, right? I mean, I feel like that's a pretty. I mean, who would you have above them?
All right, so I got Auburn, I got Florida, I got Texas A&M. I have Georgia. Actually, I'm really high on Georgia, their O-line. I have South Carolina. I have
their offensive line looked good when they played us last year.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and like he didn't even mention them, and they had a lot of young guys like that are like coming back too. So and we got to go to South Carolina this year.
Yeah.
So I have.
I'm just looking. Yeah, good.
No, like I'm trying to figure out if I Ole Miss, like so it's like a handful of like maybe a handful of teams like I probably wouldn't put over Alabama, like Mississippi State or probably Oklahoma, but even then I don't know because Oklahoma had a lot of injured players last year, so I don't know what I'm getting from them this year. So that's kind of uncertainty. So it's a few teams, but like I don't know. Like I just felt top 5 was kind of high for me with us, especially when I don't really know when we don't know what we're getting. Because you mentioned 3 years with Caden Proctor, and it's still kind of inconsistent. That doesn't necessarily look good to me, in my opinion.
No, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I look, I'm not going to necessarily disagree. I'm just saying personally, I don't mind like the 4 or 5. When you said 4 or 5 range in the conference, I think that's fair. I mean, when you're talking about a left tackle that's projected to be, one of the top guys, I think Jaden Roberts is going to step up. But to me, I think when you look at this, I think left tackle and center, probably going to be your best, your most talented spots. And then Jaden Roberts, I like it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're wrong. That's just where I'm. That's where I'm coming at it from. And I think, and look, anytime, I'll be honest with you, when I was here, we didn't always have 5 guys across the board that were perfect. I mean, think about this. Like in 2015 when we won, we had Dominic Jackson at right tackle, who had his potential was through the roof, man. He got a crap ton of penalties, but he was a big physical dude. I don't even know if you remember him, but he transferred here. I think he went in like small JUCO. California dude. We had him at right tackle. Cam Robinson was our left tackle. So we had a very solid left tackle. We had a right tackle that was a JUCO guy who he didn't go drafted or nothing like that. He went undrafted. Center was Ryan Kelly that year. Really good player. So there you go. You got a good left tackle, a good center. Right tackle was a solid player, but was not perfect. We played guys like Leon Brown at times. Who else was on that unit? Did Austin Shepard leave by then? What I'm getting at is we've never really had like 5 dogs across the board. You know what I mean? Like you're always going to have a couple
No,
spots.
but you had consistency though. You did have consistency in coaching though, because
in coaching. But I'll be honest with you. I mean, but like no disrespect to a guy like Leon Brown, but I mean him, guys like Dominic Jackson. They racked up a ton of flags, a ton of penalties. They weren't the most consistent players, but what I'm getting at is we had other solid players. You get what I'm saying? Like it's hard to have an offensive line unit where you just got like across the board. Normally, like even the best units with offensive lines, Ricky, you'll have like 2 really good guys, then like a third guy that's like like a mid or a little bit later round pick. You know what I mean? Or like a young player. You get what I'm saying? It's never going to be like.
I understand.
That's all I'm saying. And when I look at this unit, I'm like, again, we're talking about because we're looking ahead. If Caden Proctor plays the way that people expect him to play, I mean, even like you talk to the coaching staff, I mean, they acknowledge. I mean, that dude's got to again. If he just cleans up, like if he just trims some things up, even physically, like if he just lost, and he's gonna be a naturally bigger dude. But if he just slimmed down a little bit, I'm telling you, it would make a world's difference. Some technique things here and there. Let me
give him the same grace that like I wanted people to give Jalen Milroe. So like these guys also had what is he on his is he on his 4th coordinator now, I think?
Who are you referring to?
Caden Proctor.
Tommy Rees.
So,
yeah, so this would technically be 3rd. Tommy Rees, Nick Sheridan, and then Grubb.
So I'll give a little grace for that. Like, and I should have, to anybody listening, like it only seems like I'm being like hard on this particular group.
Man, you ain't gotta apologize now. I mean, dude, you listen. If people listen to the Miller's Edge, they understand, man. We just talk facts, man. You ain't being there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, look, man, you're talking about listen. If people watch the games, they'll agree, man. I mean, the offensive line playing hasn't been, as good as it probably needs to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like we've had our flashes, we had moments, but it hasn't been consistent. And I mean, again, you're just talking about just 2 years ago, whenever it was, we were like dead last in the country in sacks given up, man. I mean, that's a fact, Ricky. You're not saying nothing but facts.
Well, I'm still rooting for my guys. I'm still giving them grace. Like I'm just like, and I'm like optimistic and all that, but like I'm done like kind of
with the hope,
like leading off with, well, just like this whole top 5 thing. I'm just like, well, you know what, Cole, I'm not like getting like heartbroken again by like our trenches. So I got us as like top 10 in the SEC. I'll say top 20 in the nation. Like right now, because it's other conferences that I feel have a way better like trench game than we do, at least right now.
Fair. I mean, yeah. I mean, you mentioned some of those other SEC teams. You definitely feel good about their units, but I'll be honest with you, personally, and this is my take. I mean, I respect yours too. I think 4 or 5 in the SEC I think that's fair, honestly. But again, you might be right too, though. I mean, we could see them come out this season then play more like the 10th ranked team in the SEC. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll think about it more, and then I'll like give you like what my real top 5 is, probably on like X or something like that.
It sounds like a plan, Ricky. I appreciate you, bro. You have a good weekend, man.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend.
Yes, sir. Always, man. Good deal. All right, we got to hit a timeout. We come back. We keep on rolling on this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
Coming.
Let's see. 2012 O-line was nice. I pulled them up. Let me read that real quick. Chance Warmack, Michael Williams, Barrett Jones, DJ Fluke, or Anthony Steen. Wait, am I tripping? Wait, no. Michael Williams was. Wait, who was a center? Oh, Barrett. Oh, damn. Why? Wait, why have Barrett lifted his left tackle? That's why I got confused. I was like, what am I looking at? Oh, Carson, you're on the phone lines too. My bad, man. We got to hurry up to get to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was probably one of the best units. I mean, I'm trying to think. When I was here, let me think. I mean, who was the best unit I played with? I mean, I wouldn't say 14 or 15, respectfully. 16, we still had Big C Rob. I know Ross was starting. Was that Jonah's freshman year? Damn, that might have been a good unit, guys. 2016. Wait, let me see. I mean, because think about it. Cam was wait, didn't Cam slip to like the first pick, like one of the first picks in the second round? I don't think he ended up going first round, which is crazy, man. Cam Robinson, you talk about a left tackle, man. From the moment he stepped on campus, we were in the same class too. He's a dog, man. Yeah, he was like the second pick in the second round. Yeah, let me look up. I'm pretty sure 2016, I think we had some dogs, man. And you know, it's crazy. A lot of them were young too. Maybe not the starters, but I mean, that we had a lot of really good 2016, dude. We had some guys, man. We had some guys. Let me pull it up. 2016. That might have been the best line that I had in college. Jonah, yeah. So you had Jonah at right tackle, who ended up being a first round pick. Curvin. You see what I'm saying? Like again, notice the Curvin was a good player, but you get what I'm saying? You always have like one spot where, like, if I'm being honest with you, I remember that year. I mean, we used to rotate that spot so much. They were really unsure about it. So luckily, you know, Curve ended up stepping up, being solid. And I want to say somebody else filled in around there too. But anyway, Bozeman still playing, doing a great job in the NFL. Ross Pierschbacher, you know, great player, and Cam Robinson. So really, really good unit there. Comparing them to 2016, or excuse me, 2012, I might have to lean towards 2012. I'm just being honest with you, even though that was a really good unit. Like Big Lester Cotton, man. Matter of fact, I think he was ended up. Did he play some guard that year? I don't even know if this thing is right, but like Big Lester Cotton, Big Brutus Cotton, his nickname is Brutus. Where is I thought Leatherwood was on. No, he came in 17. He came early, and that's why I'm getting it confused. Cam was easily the best offensive lineman that I used to go against. I mean, like, it wasn't even close. I mean, like, great footwork. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I think of left tackles, man, like, that's what I used to always try to explain about Proctor. Like, big physical guy, but like the movement, man. Like, Cam Robinson was like big and had a different frame. Cam wasn't
thunderstorms through
built like that. Cam looked like, you know, a dude that could have played basketball, but his footwork, unbelievable. And that's so important for left tackle, which Proctor has good footwork for his size. But I'm just telling you, like, there's just a difference in the movement, man. And I think if he could just shed some of that weight, it would be really good for him.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into the Miller's Edge Free for All Friday edition. Hope everybody's doing well. Again, we are presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. Hey, that's another great Father's Day gift right there. You got a father that's dealing with pain, foot pain, knee pain, back pain, any type of pain. Take him on over to the Good Feet Store and help him alleviate all that pain. They'll help knock all of that out with their arch supports. So we've been talking. We listened to the little SEC tiers thing. It seemed like it was just taking up some space. Not here, I'm saying in terms of like when they made that video. I was thinking it was more along the lines of like actually kind of ranking these tiers. It was a little bit more of just a kind of very subjective type deal. Anyway, but we've been talking about the offensive line unit. Just got done talking with Ricky, and he's not as high on this offensive line unit. PFF has Alabama's offensive line number 1 in the country. I would not go that far, but I think I could get down with Cole Kublik saying 4th or 5th in the conference. I'm not going to really be mad at that, honestly. I think they will play, better, and I gave my reasons. I'm not going to sit there and, beat a dead horse. But that being said, let's go back to the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We got Carson up next on this Free for All Friday. Carson, what's going on?
How you doing today, Christian?
Oh, man, I can't complain, man. Another day, another dollar. What's going on with you?
Shoot, not much, man. I got my day off of work. I'm off every other Friday, working from home. I can't beat it,
Oh, man, you got it made then. You got a good start to your weekend, bro.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I'll try, man. This tier list I only really got one topic to talk about it. I'm not completely mad. I think the only spot that I really am upset or just kind of scratching my head about is LSU. I mean, the media has their LSU knee pads on right now, and I'm serious. I mean, how do they replace the left tackle and the right tackle? I mean, and that's one of the things. I know you got Nussmeier, but he's not a perfect prospect. I get he might be one of the best in this class, and the class is better than last year's, but they're glazing him, man. And he's shown that under pressure, he's not the same quarterback as he is on air. And I know he's great on air. He can spin it. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I'm like, if you're replacing the left tackle, who is an ass kicker, and you're replacing the right tackle, Emory Jones, who is an ass kicker, I'm like, what do you think it's going to be? And they lost Kyron Lacey, rest in peace, but he was their best receiver, and you're bringing in Barryon Brown from Kentucky. I know he's good, but is he all world? And Aaron Anderson, who came from Alabama, has an opportunity this year at LSU to do something special. I mean, he could be their best receiver, and I'm not taking away the prospect of that. He could very well be that. But the defense, you're getting Harold Perkins back, and you're getting, a couple guys back on defense, but Baker's got to show me schematically, because they look at those games where they gave up 40 points. I mean, I went to the UCLA game last year. My uncle-in-law is the team doctor for UCLA, so we got some free tickets and drove out to Baton Rouge. And that defense, man, I'm sitting there watching it up close. I'm like, golly, you're letting UCLA do this to you. So LSU's got to prove it. I don't like that they're that high in that list. I put us there over them. But
yeah, I think what it is, I think when people look at them, I mean, I would say number one of the first things people look at is a quarterback spot. We know that because that's the thing they keep bringing up with Alabama. Obviously, they don't necessarily have a proven guy, which I get, right? Quarterback is a very important position. So you're talking about a veteran quarterback in Nussmeier who's been around the block, right? I mean, he's been there, been behind Jaden Daniels, stepped up last year, obviously. I think he passed for over 4,000 yards, if I'm not mistaken. I think his numbers
he also
right
gave up a ton of points on defense. So
yeah. But in terms of him, he threw for over 4,000 yards and 29 touchdowns. And so, I mean, I think people look at him, they think he's definitely going to be in that Heisman conversation. So he checked that box. They look at the receiver spot. Aaron Anderson, former Alabama receiver, one of the top receivers in the conference. I think they went to the portal as well and brought in, I think, 2 receivers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think they brought Kentucky and Oklahoma. Yeah, right. Yeah. So they went to the portal for that. So you're bringing in guys that you expect, they're going to be plug and play players. I'm with you on the offensive line thing. Losing Will Campbell, Emory Jones, We're going to see how that looks. I know they also brought in, some linemen, at least one from Virginia Tech, maybe. We'll see again how that shuffles around. I think they're supposed to be moving some guys around. But offensively, they do seem to check most of the boxes. Again, offensive line probably being the biggest question mark, which is a big deal. But defensively, like you said, I mean, I don't know how that looks. They haven't really impressed me on defense for quite some time. Harold Perkins coming back is probably big for them. He's coming off that knee injury. But other
If
than
they can
that,
use them.
huh? You said if they can
If
use
they
them?
can use them. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think they've kind of
out of position.
They've played. You beat me to it. They've played him kind of out of position, and he's just been moved around so much that, man, I feel like he could have been utilized so much better if they really would have just honed in on keeping him at a spot. I mean, as a freshman, he really was just playing as spy and was very effective there.
Free.
He kind of is like got that tweener size. So I mean, I get it. I mean, he, in their hybrid linebacker safety role, it makes sense. But at the same time, man, I would maybe just kind of just let him just. I don't know. I just feel like they're kind of just moving him out of position. He's just all over the place, and it's almost like you're doing so many things you can't really be great at just one thing. Other than that, they went and brought in some guys for I think from Florida, edge player, and maybe somewhere else. So we'll see.
Yeah, Patrick Payton.
I'll say this. I mean, they remind me of it reminds me like Ole Miss last year. They had a quarterback who's throwing for a bunch of yards. Quarterbacks you felt pretty good about. They go to the portal. They bring in a lot of help. They're a good team, but to me, I feel like that's how it kind of turns out. I feel like they kind of cap out like Ole Miss, where they're a good team, but they're not. They just don't quite get over that hump. Could they get over the hump this year? Yeah, I think they'll be better. I think they probably. There's a good chance they make the playoffs this year. I mean, I feel confident in saying that, but the people talk about them as if like they're winning the national championship. I don't view it that high.
I don't
could be
see
wrong
that
though.
either. Yeah, I mean, look, this is dog days, like your dad said. I mean, we're sitting here talking about it, but just looking at their defense as a whole. Look, Whit Weeks, he's a good thumper linebacker.
I do like him,
I think he plays hard and he plays the right way. I think there's some coverage stuff that he could get better at, but he's not going to be what he's not going to be. He's a thumper. He plays hard. He pursues the ball really well. I like him. If they get production out of Perkins and let him kind of roam a little bit and play free, I mean, Harold Perkins as a talent is incredible. But the secondary is what kind of makes me nervous most of all on that defense, because they were Swiss cheese. I thought that the safety from last year, Major Burns, I thought he was one of the worst safeties that LSU's ever had.
Did he's gone?
Yeah, he's gone. He's JV and Toviano has taken over. He's a true junior, hasn't played much. And then Deshaun Spears will play free safety for them. And then PJ Woodland will play nickel. Look, I'm the biggest Alabama fan, but I live in New Orleans. And so I'm really close kind of to the LSU sphere of things. I got a lot of friends who are kind of insiders and know a lot, talk a lot of LSU with me. And I don't trust their secondary. Outside of the Ashton Stamps, it's probably the most experienced corner that they're bringing back. And then they brought in a transfer, Delane. I forget where he came from, but he's a senior.
Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I think it's Vatech. And then DJ Pickett, obviously the freshman, if he gets a role, that kid's very, very talented. But
he was a 5-star, right?
Oh yeah, top guy. He's a real. I thought I wanted him to come to Bama. Can't lie to you.
That would have been crazy because I just looked him up. He's like 6'4", I think. Talk about some length in the secondary. That would have been crazy pairing up with Dijon Lee.
Right.
Twin towers out there.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, Dijon, that dude, he's like 6'3", 6'4", and he looks like a corner. I thought it'd be weird, but I just want to pump the brakes on LSU right now, because yes, they have talent, but there's no guarantee that it is what they're projecting it to be. They got to show me, and so does Alabama. But going to Ricky's point on the offensive line, I think that the collection of the talent is what gives you confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's a collective of guys, even Gino, even guys who have come back and played for us. Hopefully Jaden's healthy, because I think he's a good piece to have, especially in the run game. And Caden, I mean, he needs to play lighter. That he's got all the talent in the world, but he needs to play lighter. But overall, I think we were talking about it the other day. I'm happy with saying I'd be happy with saying that we're 3, just as a collection of talent. Now, consistency wise, y'all are right. I mean, we've kind of dropped the ball in a few games and a lot of games over the span of 2-3 years. But bringing Ryan Grubb in, who maybe not a lot of people know this, but Ryan Grubb's an offensive line guy.
True.
You know, that's like I the way I project it is with that in mind. You know, it's like, hey, like we're going to shore some of this stuff up. I mean, there's not going to be, when our right tackle's getting killed, I don't think that there will be no tight end over there chipping. Like it was last year with Nick Sheridan, where it's like, just especially the Oklahoma game when they were just sending 7. You know, like
they're bringing heat.
Yeah, every play, and they had nothing to lose when you're able to run the ball like you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't think we'll have that this year. I think we have a more experienced offensive line. I mean, an offensive coordinator, which goes way further into projecting how good our offensive line is going to be. It's not, if you look at it on paper, yes, it's good. Yes, we have two NFL guys probably on the line, and you know, possibly even 3. And I mean, I don't know, but that's a different topic. But like, I think the offensive coordinator plays a huge, huge role in how we utilize them. And I don't think the right tackle is going to be absolutely getting his face ripped off every single play. And there's no telling how many, I know freshmen don't typically get a lot of opportunities at Alabama outside of a Proctor. There's a few guys, but Michael Carroll, that dude's an ass kicker, man. Like,
did they move him to tackle during the spring to get some reps? I think they might have been shuffling it around and getting guys reps all over the place. You know who? And I like that pick right there to be a guy to look out for. I don't know if it's necessarily this year or not, but yeah, he definitely has a lot of potential. And I like him. You know, I remember seeing a video at first. I was like, man, if he could clean up his footwork a little bit, I definitely could see it. And he looks like he's really improved in that area. But you know, Elias Alanin, the guy from Finland or something. They had him working at left tackle this spring. You know, Proctor was banged up or coming back from maybe a little minor op or something. I can't remember what the deal was, but he actually, man, he made some big strides. Now, again, I don't expect him to be starting, but it makes you feel better in terms of the depth category, because that is one thing that had been a concern, maybe some depth for this unit. But I think this spring was really beneficial because they were able to move guys around and play them in different spots. And now a guy like Elias Allen, he was originally playing some guard, and you weren't really too sure kind of, you know, where he was going to end up at. You move him at left tackle, and he actually ended up doing a good job. So now you're like, all right, we feel better about some depth there if we need him there. Or, you know, Vandermark, like you mentioned, he's a serviceable guy that can come in and play either the guard spots, probably play some center too, and be just fine. So yeah, I think to me 4 or 5 in the conference is I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
it has room to grow too.
Sure, like it could be even better by the end of the year, or it could be where Ricky said that it would be. But I just want to say, you know, there's a good collection of talent there. There's a lot of guys that are rotating pieces. I think we can feel confident saying like, hey, like let's go into it with some optimism this season, because it'll be better because of Ryan Grubb.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%, Carson. You make some really good points, man. Well, I appreciate you hopping on here. Always great talking to you. Have a great Father's Day weekend, and hopefully we'll get to talk next week, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, man. You too.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Good deal. That was our buddy Carson, man. Newer listener of the show, man, but you talk about big supporter. Always got some great comments when he calls in, man. Love that. You guys can hop in on the conversation, 205-342-9904. We always urge you to hop on the phone lines any chance that you would like, and we'll chop it up just like we did with Carson. First, we got to take a quick time out. We come back. We got George on the phone lines, plus a couple more things on the ticket as we keep rolling through this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. All right, good stuff. Great call right there. Yeah, you can tell Carson lives down there in Louisiana territory. He knows a lot about that team, man. I think they will be solid. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. I think LSU's one of the best teams in the conference for sure, but I think they're getting a lot of hype. I just, outside of the whole Ed Odron year, man, in recent years, man, it's not like they don't have talent. They always have talent. Think about all the players that have been coming out of LSU. And they still it's just like, they're always good, but it's like they're allergic to being great is what it feels like. I'm going to, let me run to the bathroom real quick. Oh, God, Q06 is going to come at me. My one restroom break during a 2-hour show, he's coming at me. Let me do that real quick. I'll be right back.
Artists Tasha Cobbs Leonard, Tatanka Means, Indigenous, Chapel Hart, Chris Young, and Flo Rida. Experience Choctaw art, food, dancing, and carnival rides. Ignite your competitive spirit with Reds Run, Iron Warrior, Volleyball, and the Cornhole Tournament. Visit ChoctawIndianFair.com and like us on Facebook.
Hope to see you there.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation across the United States and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers, trying to make a name for themselves. We are here for the achievers
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors who are shaping the next generation of legends. We are here for you, aggressively pursuing
victory over injury.
Learn more at andrewsportsmedicine.com.
Hey, it's Christian Miller, and I want to tell you about our great friends over at Brian Harding Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Harding Construction is woman-owned and strong as steel, a specialty manufacturing firm with expertise in structural steel fabrication, ASME code piping and vessels, CNC machine work, welding, laser cutting, pipe fitting, industrial maintenance, and crane rentals. With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation, contact Brian Harding Construction today at 205-752-9611. Again, that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611.
365 24/7. You'll find road and utility crews, tow truck, law enforcement, and first responders working along Alabama's roadway.
We're making improvements and helping our communities stay connected.
We're working hard to make sure you're safe on the road. Now we need your help to make sure we're safe too.
Alabama's move over law requires you to move over a lane when you see flashing lights on the roadside. And if you can't safely move over, please slow down.
Visit DriveSafeAlabama.org, brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation, Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you receiving unemployment? Your benefits could be at risk. Here's how you can protect yourself and your benefits. Never respond to mail notifying you of a false claim in your name. Never answer a text message asking you to verify.
They also glaze Arch Manning too. By the way, what has Arch done to get this much love? I'll say this. I can understand a little bit more of the Arch hype. I mean, Nussmeier, good player. There's a couple of times where he kind of choked in some situations last year, but
that money must.
To me, like, just when you watch Arch, to me, he does have a higher ceiling than a guy like Nussmeier. I will say that. I think Arch is going to have a good year. Plus, I mean, you think about Texas, having good players around him too should only help him. But you guys are right. I mean, they gas these guys up like there's no tomorrow.
And this station. Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A warm, humid afternoon. Look out for scattered showers and thunderstorms through this evening. The high today 87, tonight's low 71. For tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Scattered showers and storms developing during the day with a high at 85. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 82 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Just got done talking with our buddy Carson on the phone lines. About to go to George here next. But first, got to remind you about our friends over at R&R Cigars. If you guys are looking for a last-minute Father's Day gift, head on over to R&R Cigars right now, 2703 Gary Fitz Street here in Tuscaloosa, the big mansion. You can't miss it. The best humidor in the Southeast. They've got over 160 bourbons that you can try too. Heck, just take your father over there after you guys go get lunch and hang out on the porch and celebrate Father's Day. It'd be a great time over there. 20% off any 20 cigars on their website. You can build your perfect selection, mixing and matching them. Plus $100 or more, you get free shipping. Again, guys, you can't beat it. But in terms of just looking for a place to hang out, if you're ever in Tuscaloosa, especially all year round, but football season, definitely prime time basketball season, always prime time, then even summer. Great weather outside. Go kick it on the porch at the mansion. They got plenty of TVs to go watch. All your favorite sporting events, NBA Finals going on. A lot of people going and hanging out over there, enjoying a nice cigar and bourbon. So make sure you guys don't miss out. Right there at R&R Cigars, 2703 Gary Fitz Street. Again, that is R&R Cigars. RNRcigars.com's website, by the way. The official cigar provider of Alabama football since 2014. All right. Let's go back to the phone lines, Chase. I think we got our good buddy George up next. George, welcome in.
Hey there, Christian. Thanks for taking my call. Just a few comments, but before I start on the offensive line, yesterday we were all talking about the House judgment.
Yes.
And that everybody some people wanted it to be equal, but like we have said, football and basketball, that's where all the eyes go on the TV at, and that's what caused the revenue. But some people thinking, just because of lesser sports, they should get more money and this, that, and the other. And I kind of look at it like being a commission salesman.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a commission salesman and make more money, you got to make more sales.
That's
so
right.
If men's golf wants to get more money, get more eyes on the golf, on the TV, and get more money that are contributing money specifically for golf. And that's kind of the way I see it.
Yeah.
Now the
I think
offense.
you're right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, and I agree with you. And it's unfortunate that it's like that. I was saying yesterday how much I would love to find ways to compensate all the student athletes, because I know how hard everybody works. I know all those other sports respectively work just as hard as we do over a football. I mean, there's no denying that. But it's like you said, that would be in a perfect world. But the reality is there's a cap. There's only so much money that goes around. And then when it comes down to actually bringing in the money, the numbers speak for themselves. Football and men's basketball, they're really the only profit driving sports. And then even, we looked at the WNBA versus NBA model. Again, I know it's kind of a tightrope to walk, but when you look at the numbers, it's a staggering difference on how, it was like $10 billion versus $200 million.
Right.
That's the explanation for the difference. It's not about anything else. It's not because people don't want to not pay the, WNBA players as much. It's just the fact is there's not the money to do so. And it's pretty much the same thing with the new legislation. There's only $20.5 million to go around. If football is in a profit of $27 million, but everybody else is losing $3, $4, $5 million respectively, you do the math, it only makes sense. And it's unfortunate, but
absolutely.
But the good news is the regular NIL still works. And for anybody that, say you're a big softball fan or women's basketball fan, and They might not be on, might not get the biggest amount coming to them from the revenue share. You could always support them via regular NIL, and I'm sure they'll come up with plenty of ways to do that. And I think that'll probably be the best, most realistic option to find ways to get those young men and women that aren't football or basketball players as much money as possible.
And something about eyeballs on the TV with the NBA, I'm sure that their cut's going to, salaries are going to go down if, viewership continues to go down. But because from what I read, the finals, the viewership numbers are horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big NBA fan, but from what I read, the viewership has gone down, a lot. So I'm wondering if these salaries are going to go down. We'll see what we got to see. But getting to the offensive line, in my opinion, and what little I played, talent's got to be decent, but communication and coaching is much more important. A lot of times when I was watching the games last year, you could see that the communication of who to block who and who am I going to swing out and chip that guy, it wasn't there. It was almost like a flood. The defensive line was coming in like a flood, and our offensive line did not know what to do at that split second, and they got by him. Because, and as well as I do, the offensive line is a team within the team, and if you're not working together and you don't have good communication, you're not going to do a very good job. I mean, you have seen where an offensive line, a guy that's playing, say, right tackle, he's not huge, but he's got good footwork and he knows where he needs to go when he needs to go there. And to me, that's much more important than having great size and great talent. Don't get me wrong, you still got to be talented, but communication and working as a team is much more important in my mind. And, I just see that that's going to get better because our communication is going to get better. Coaching is going to get better. And I just see it being, a top 3 or 4 offensive line within the conference. And that's kind of what my thoughts are. Christian, what do you think?
No, I think you make a great point. I would say you definitely need to have you got to strike a balance between the two, right? You definitely got to have the talent. I do know that because there's been times where we've played against, other SEC teams where they just didn't have the talent, same talent that we had. And, obviously we saw how that looked, but there was also instances, to your point, where we would play against a team like an Arkansas who didn't have like the most highly rated guys on their offensive line, but because they were strong, physical, tough guys that played well, had great communication, and were really sound as a unit, they were one of the better groups we would go against, and that was stacking them up with some of the other units that had more highly touted guys. So you're 100% right. I think when you look at this group, they definitely have, a lot of good talent on the group, within the group, I should say. And then to your point, if they can get on the same page, that's one thing that I have noticed last couple of years. Sometimes there was some bust, some lack of execution, guys not being on the same page. That's crucial for an offensive line. You're 100%, George. You're 100% right in that. All it takes is for one guy to miss an assignment, go the wrong way. He's thinking, they've got a zone concept over here. Then, there's a leakage in the protection up front. Somebody penetrates, tackle for loss, right? Now you're behind the chains and it's 2nd and 15. That's huge. And the less of those plays you have, obviously, the much better you're going to be. So I agree with you. I think if they work on that, which you'd imagine with the guy like new offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb coming in, that should improve. So I'm on the same page with you on that, George.
Well, and another thing, I just think that our coaching staff, as you have already stated and everybody else has, they didn't do anything to help our offensive line. And Les Hart, Caden Proctor, I mean, heck, he didn't know whether to go left or right or straight. I mean, his footwork was not very good at all. And I know that he wasn't very light on his feet, but it just seems like they stuck him out there and said, let's hope you can block somebody because you're such a big guy. And, everybody needs good technique, and you get good technique by coaching. Yep. And I just think they did a very poor job of coaching him. I mean, it was, man, I felt sorry for him because I knew when he got on the sidelines after Milroe got smashed, hey, what are you doing out there, Proctor? Can't you block the guy? And it wasn't like the guy that he was going up against was an All-American. You know, I mean, it was sad. But I think now with better coaching, better technique, and more than anything, good experience. And, you know, we were inconsistent because last year I think I saw or thought about it, we replaced 48% of our roster. When you have new players, you don't have consistency. But now that everybody came back, we didn't lose anybody. I think you can build on that coaching, and you'll have better consistency. And I look for that, and I think that we're going to have a good offensive line. And I'm very, very optimistic about this coming year. And I think Ty Simpson is going to do a great job. I mean, he was a highly sought-after quarterback when he came out of high school. And I don't see him falling back and not getting any better. I see him getting much, much better the more playing time he has, and also the more coaching and better coaching. And we're going to have a running game, I think, and we're going to have a good offensive line, and we got good receivers. All he's got to do is have good ball security and, run the plays like it's supposed to be run. And I think he'll do that with him not having to, run for his life. Because when you're running for your life, that's when you make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of my 2 cents worth.
Yeah, no, and you're right. I hope they do commit to a running game because it doesn't matter who is the guy. We just heard yesterday, obviously, Ryan Grubb still feels like Ty Simpson is the guy that's going to take the first snaps if they happen to play Florida State tomorrow. So he's in the lead, in other words. But with that being said, regardless who it is, they're going to be a new quarterback. And that means you got to do what you can to help those guys get more comfortable, get acclimated, especially the earlier part of the season. And that's why I hope they really do lean on some of those things that take some pressure off of them, because I think that'll only help them, get up to speed even quicker. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a solid year. I think offense is definitely going to look to make some improvements. I mean, the receiver core looks really strong this year. I'm with you. I think Grubb makes a big difference, and we just talked about the offense line. Hopefully, they improve. And with all those things being the case, you only imagine that the the offense in general is going to be better. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I think fall camp's going to be fun. I think it's going to be very competitive, and I think they're really going to, lock in and get ready for that. So, I mean, we're counting down the days. I think we're like, 78 or 77, 78 days away?
78 or 79, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think like 78.
I can't remember.
It's flying by, though. It'll be here before we know it, George.
And that for sure. But like I say, and everybody's saying that I will be highly, highly disappointed if we don't make the playoffs. Last year was replacing
you and everybody else
of our roster. I mean, and we almost made it. I mean, think about it. We replaced 48% of our roster, had new coaching staff. I mean, every coach we had, except for, I think, our running back coach, Gillespie, and our defensive line coach, everybody else was new. So we had a lot of transition, new coaches, new players, and we almost made the playoffs. So if we don't make it this year, I mean, I will be highly disappointed. We didn't lose anybody to the portal. Everybody came back. We infused a lot of great talent from freshmen and also a couple of good transfer portal players. And our coaching staff has had a year together, plus we added a good offensive coordinator that everybody wanted. So, I mean, I will be highly disappointed if we don't make the playoffs. And I think we're probably going to be I'm looking for 11-1. And the only reason I'm saying 11-1 is very, very, very difficult to go undefeated. Nobody's done that very often. And that's my 2 cents worth, Christian. I really enjoy your show.
Oh, well, I enjoy you hopping on here with us, George. And I will say this, man. I love the confidence. 11-1. I think it's going to be tough, but hey, man, I think we got some potential. And I hope you're right, man. I love that confidence, though.
Okay, look at it this way. We ain't going to lose to Vanderbilt again, so that's another victory.
Fair.
I mean, let's get real. And I don't think we're going to lose to Oklahoma. So there's
I get what you're saying.
that we're going to turn around. All we got to do is beat Georgia, because that's going to be a tough game because they're going to be ready for it.
Yeah.
And LSU, I'm sure, is going to be ready for us. But everybody's talking high praises about them. But, I mean, they're having to replace a lot of folks.
Yeah, I look at it. I get the logic that you're coming up with. I look at going on the road to South Carolina being tough, Georgia, that game being tough, and then LSU, you know they're going to be a good team. They come to Tuscaloosa, but I think that could be a dogfight. And I'll throw this out there. I think Auburn is a team that, you know, some people might overlook a little bit, but we got to go on the road
I don't
to
know.
play them.
Oh, Auburn
been
and
active in the
Georgia.
portal. Yeah, you know. The way I look at it is, you know, with and I understand your logic. I definitely do. But I also know I'm like, man, nowadays in college football, it's almost like you just any given weekend, man, a lot of these teams are just so much more parity, man. It's tough.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
so it really you know, it's crazy. It really probably will come. A lot of these games will come down to some very key moments in these games. You know what I mean? And that normally is kind of it go either way. There could be some calls that have some impact. So when I think of it like that, I'm like, you know, 2-3 loss season is definitely realistic. I mean, only losing one game, I mean, that's definitely possible, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. But I get the logic, George. I get it, man. And hopefully that's the right logic. I prefer that one a lot better.
Take care,
George,
my
we appreciate
friend.
it. Yeah, happy Father's Day weekend.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Take care. All right, we got to hit a timeout. We come back. We keep on rolling. We got a couple of videos to get to. Plus, Ryan Grubb was on the station yesterday. Had some comments about the quarterback room. We might circle back to that and see what he had to say as we wind down on this free-for-all Friday right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama, we are here treating patients from every generation
across the United States
and from around the world. We're here for the rookies and the dreamers, trying to make a name for themselves.
We're here for the achievers
who are resilient
and won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors who are shaping the next generation of legends. We are here for you, aggressively pursuing
victory over injury. Learn more at andrewsportsmedicine.com.
Well, good morning, kiddo.
Coaches can only do so much. What about the players? Hey, great point. Great point, T. Smitty. I always say that too, man. I mean, execution's got to be there. I mean, a lot of times we always are pointing fingers at coaches. And look, rightfully so. A lot of the times, I mean, there are a lot of things that they need to be doing better, or, you could, put on them. They obviously always take the blame. But from, a player perspective, I'll be the first one to tell you, man. I mean, there's a number of times I saw us not execute things. It wasn't always the call. And sometimes it's hard to tell in that, in that instance, like, at that moment. But when you go back and watch the tape, which I've done, a number of times now with some of these games, especially like last year, you'll quickly realize, man, I mean, sure, could you have called some different? Hindsight is 20/20, but at the end of the day, man, as long as everybody's on the same page and running that, man, if you execute, you should be all right. So, yeah, there's got to be much better execution. I mean, I'll just speak for the defense. There's times I saw guys, I'm like, man, there's no way he's supposed to do that right there. I don't know if it's because they're improvising or they just didn't know what to do, but it's important. Last year was a typical year one. If Alabama doesn't make the playoffs this season, it will be because the committee doesn't value strength of schedule. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I don't want to just put on the committee, man. We control our destiny. Hell, we should have made it last year. If you beat Oklahoma, you're in there. We dropped the ball. You can't blame the committee on that. And maybe it's just the way I view it is just different. But I'm just like, man, I've always been taught by Coach Saban, man, you control what you can control. Year one or not, man, everything was in front of us. We were set to go play in the SEC championship game. You take care of business against Oklahoma. Not saying it's some easy task. I know they weren't a great team. You're still going on the road playing them senior day, whatever. Brent Venables, he's a good coach, but the way I look at it, man, we showed up.
Find them.
Not prepared. I mean, thinking like all the drops in the first half. I mean, we did not play a good game at all. That was on us. That's not on the committee. And respectfully, man, not to you, I'm saying just in general, but I don't put that as being like, oh, it's year one. I mean, yeah, you have some, some growing pains, but that's at the the latter part of the year, bro. If anything, man, that shouldn't happen at that point in the year. But I'm not only putting that on the coach. I put it on both. The execution was poor that game. I don't think our game plan was great that game. And bottom line is we didn't show up to play.
Free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Just finished up with George, but we mentioned that, obviously Grubb came on the station yesterday, was talking about the offense, a number of things, mentioned the quarterbacks, doubled down on Ty Simpson being the front runner. Here's a quote that he had from yesterday. Ty took care of the football better. He operated better. I thought he improved for an older quarterback, especially towards the latter part of the spring. He really started to show more of those characteristics. And I've been saying it for a while, man. I mean, Ty's biggest problem has never been, the talent, throwing the football. He's always been talented there. It's always just been more of a, cutting down on mistakes. And then when you do make those mistakes, being able to play the next play, right? That's huge for a quarterback. And I think he's really gotten better than that area of his game. Other than that, man, I mean, from a leadership perspective, the locker room loves him. He's respected. He does a great job, commanding the offense. So to me, I think it's clear. I mean, I don't even think we even need to ask him anymore. I mean, right now, that's the guy. I mean, now, unless you go into fall camp and for whatever reason, someone just starts outplaying him and proves to be a better option, and then you'll talk about it then. But I think Ty is going to be the guy. And, I think we've already known that, but we did hear Ryan Grubb double down on that. Now, one other interesting thing that came up from the conversation that Ryan had with Ryan yesterday was that he spoke really highly of Austin Mack, man. I got this pulled up right here. In regards to Austin Mack, allegedly he sees NFL potential in him. That's what he had to say. He said, when he's on and he's pushing the ball where it's supposed to go, I told him, and I mean it, if you went out to an NFL game and you watch some guys throw before the game, you're like, that's what they look like. And that's how Austin is. We've got to get the other part all rectified as far as decision-making and things like that. He's an incredibly talented kid. Said he can still run and move around in spite of size, and added that Mack is probably the best pure thrower in the quarterback room. Just power and tempo of the football, where he can put it, touch. He's a pure thrower of the football. He's just like Keelan, still developing as a decision maker and still getting command of the offense. But certainly the reps he's been able to get this spring, even this summer already, is really what he didn't have his first 2 years, because he just wasn't in a position to be even a backup or in a competitive role for the starting position. So now, all the coaching and reps he's getting, I feel he's growing every week, but I think he's more mobile than people think. I agree on that. He definitely can move. He's extremely intelligent, and for Austin, he probably picks stuff up as fast, if not faster, than anybody in the room. Very, very smart kid. Now it's just letting the game slow down for him and letting him making the easy plays look easy. I second everything he's saying. Seeing Austin Mack this spring, man, he definitely has those moments. Definitely needs to be more consistent. Decision making definitely needs to improve. You'll see it, right? I mean, there's just times where, interceptions, throwing into, areas, double cut, things like that you just can't have. But obviously the talent's there, right? I mean, from a physical standpoint, the way he throws the football, Grubb is clearly raving about him, which makes it kind of interesting, Chase, because if you think about this, I mean, the way Grubb is talking about this guy, they truly believe in him. So, never say never. You could have him as a dark horse candidate to see in the field this season. We'll see. say he does clean up those turnover issues. But my thing is, man, if I'm being completely honest with you, I think the way this plays out, I think Ty ends up being the guy this year. I think obviously Keelan's probably going to be the guy of the future. I think someone comes in and offers Austin Mack, especially reading these comments. I mean, these people are always on the hunt, right? Would not be shocked if at the end of the year somebody comes in and offers a guy like Austin Mack a lot of money out of their new $20.5 million budget to be their guy, right? They're probably going to say, hey, man, you got Keelan Russell in front of you. Ty Simpson technically could come back. We need you as our starting quarterback. Wouldn't be shocked, man. So we'll see. We'll see. But he also could end up being one of our guys out and being the guy. That being said, we got a few more minutes, Chase. I want to get this defensive line video real quick. We didn't get to yesterday. I have it pulled up. And I think it's 4 minutes. So that'll probably put us right about the time we got to get out of here. So let's cap off this free-for-all Friday with that, because I'm really eager. I haven't seen this either. So, again, we got for us here episode 2 of the Bama Standard that features the defensive lines. Let's go ahead and see what they've got to say about them this season.
Pain, we got to be the first to throw the punch.
Tim Keenan III.
I feel like our D-line is one of the top D-line in the nation.
They're violent. They're physical. Hope be more of my mentality going into the season. I know what I'm going to get out of practice. There's been days they take control.
And they call us in. They need the dirty work done, so we're going to go handle that.
A word about the D-line that I think about, I would say powerful.
He gets the snap, pressure coming up the middle. He's going to be down at the 23-yard line. Sellers, plenty of time. No, he doesn't. He goes down.
It's a physical group from the 1s to the 3s.
You know, those guys work. Like, you got TK. He's a hard-nosed, stout guy. He's going to fill the gap, make the tackle.
He's not the biggest, you know what I'm saying, not the tallest, but with that comes natural leverage.
He's hard to move. I mean, even in the pass game, he's hard to defend.
Leaves the backfield, pressure coming, and he goes down. Tim Keenan III.
You can't be staying on blocks too long or anything like that. Just making sure we hunt this one, controlling the traffic that's trying to come through there. We're the first line of defense, so just bringing that hammer when we need to.
As the shotgun goes to Locke, he'll look deep, pressure coming in, ball's on the deck, but it's picked up by the Badgers right at their own 48-yard line. Malusi, Bama almost got a takeaway as the big hit was delivered by LT Overton.
Well, LT, he's very physical with his hands. He's got long arms. He's got good hands. He's got good pass rush moves, and he never stops working. If I get on him, stop his one move, he's going to make a second move, third move, and he's never going to stop. So that's what makes him hard to block.
The Gamecocks will lose the football. It's on the deck. Scramble for it. Who's got it? It is LT Overton.
Seems like every time he back there the quarterback. So, I mean, I don't mind having a pick game or, being a decoy for him when I know I got LT Overton on the outside, go make a sack.
This year, Coach Womack, and the way he's scheming up his defense is giving us plenty of opportunity to do what we could do.
Kick it up! Touch your heel! That's it, Zebo! Boom, there you go, 50!
Freddie. Coach Roach, probably one of the best coaches you'll meet.
Set the point. That's it, stay down. There you go.
Playing for Coach Freddie Roach is amazing, man. Like, the connection he has with his players, the type of vibe in the room. Now, if you ain't on your business, you ain't handling it, now he gonna let you know.
I love coaches that coach hard, and I respect that about him, but he's always going to treat you like you're part of his family at the end of the day, and that's what I respect most about him.
Intercepted. Freddie Roach inside the 10. Touchdown, Alabama.
Him playing at Alabama and him being from Alabama, too. I feel like us Bama boys have a real deep love for our university, and it runs deeper than, you would ever know. The Bama standard is what everyone chases to be, what everyone uses it as the example.
The Bama standard is coming and doing the same thing, really continuing to break down on little things like Coach DeBoer always says when it comes to penalties or just the things off the field as well, academics.
Goals of the team, of course, the national championship, but just doing the little things.
What are we applying to our everyday life to become national championships? Like, what steps are we going to take day by day to process that?
Some guys that have definitely shown some growth and just gotten a lot better. I feel like Edric, he got real long arms, so he hard to get your hands on.
Another guy you got to keep in mind is Jeremiah Beeman and also Jordan Renard. He's been working his butt off.
Of course, James Smith, Keon Keeley, a lot of young guys stepping up into the room, a lot of new faces that's going to be seen this year, and I'm excited for it.
So there you have it. I feel that was a great way to cap things off. Chase's Free for All Friday, man. I got you fired up, man, for this weekend. I feel like it got me ready to go. Look, man, it's a nice sell. It's a nice sell. I mean, they're talking about the physicality, getting after it. Got me excited, man. So hopefully we see that type of play consistently through this upcoming season. All right. That being said, we got to get out of here. We got Wyatt Fulton and T-Town Sports Daily coming up next. Appreciate everybody this week, all the contributions, all the listeners via the app, radio, YouTube, of course, live with us on the stream. Appreciate all you guys. Appreciate Chase behind the glass, making it all possible. That being said, I hope you guys have a phenomenal Father's Day weekend. Hope you guys get to go out to eat, hang out, spend time with all your fathers out there, and hope it's the best one yet. But we will see you guys Monday right here, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. Appreciate everybody. We'll see you guys then.